Jon rides into this event on a white horse. The white horse has an eye patch. I'm actually rather proud of Jon Jones. This was awesome. So Jon is taking this shot at Aspinall. It would seem as though he wants to fight Aspinall. The reason that is so poetically beautiful is Jon is working towards getting a fight with Aspinall, the very guy who they've been trying to get him to fight all along. I thought the direction that we were going was Jon Jones versus Alex Pereira. And then I saw Jon Jones ride a white horse into an event with an eye patch. It would be an interesting question to ask Tom. Hey Tom, would you rather fight Ciryl Gane in a rematch, or would you rather fight Jon Jones, who appears...
Tension between Tom Aspinall and Jon Jones has finally reached its breaking point. After weeks of subtle digs, silence, and public taunts, Aspinall has decided he's done staying quiet. What began as a no-contest fight has spiraled into one of the most heated rivalries the UFC has seen in recent memory. The situation took an even more personal turn when Tom's father revealed that his son's vision remains blurry and that he's been undergoing ongoing treatment ever since. What was once just a competitive feud has now evolved into something far deeper, a clash fueled by frustration, pride, and the feeling of being disrespected at every turn.
Really bad how it looks. And he said, you can't train your eyeball to be stronger. It is what it is. You've protection here and here, but he obviously got no protection because the fingers were straight in. The fight should have been stopped. He couldn't see. It was a foul. He couldn't see. Then you can't fight. You know, if he'd have got knocked out with a head kick next, then it would have been worse. I don't know. And then he said, sometimes when your eyes here like that, it can become displaced and stay there. And they did a few tests on that, and they said it doesn't seem like that. And his vision on the eye that's the best eye, his eye wasn't following properly, so the muscles weren't working strong enough to go this way. This one just wasn't working that good at all. So we've got to have additional tests further this week, and Moyes is sorting the tests out for us, and he's got to have a CT scan.
A year and 3 months, 15 months total. Here's Tom Aspinall that has fought them all, that was begging to fight them all, that wanted to fight Jon Jones, that would have fought Francis Ngannou, that would have fought all of them. Here's Tom Aspinall being called a quitter. Here's Tom Aspinall having his heart questioned, having his integrity questioned. We talked about going into this fight, how obviously after everything that transpired over the past year, it would have been an absolute nightmare if he would have lost, right? The pressure, the Jones talk, all that stuff. Now this wasn't a loss, but it's the next worst thing. Because now his heart has been called into question. His integrity has been called into question. He's being called a coward, a quitter. Why? Because he got poked in the eyes. Why? Because he refused to fight blind. In some fakakta world that we live in, the guy who had a foul inflicted on him is the one getting the heat. Not the one who ended the fight, intentional or not. It's the guy who couldn't continue because he didn't show enough heart, because he was hit with an illegal foul multiple times and refused to continue. Couldn't do it. He's a quitter. He's a coward. He's a duck. Whatever you want to say. Now, I know a lot of this comes from people who, had money on the fight or are Gane fans. I get it. People are emotional. They go online. I'm not trying to put any more stock into any of this. But a lot of this could have been calmed down. A lot of this could have been quieted, could have been subdued if perhaps, I don't know, the face of the company would have gone to the press conference and said, look, that was a great fight. That was a great round. We're going to rebook it right away. But at the end of the day, you can't poke your opponent in the eye multiple times. At the end of the day, you can't do this. You can't do that. You want to block someone at range, close your fists. At the end of the day, Tom Aspinall is a fucking gangster who did everything that we've asked of him. He will live to fight another.
Tom Aspinall's recovery has been a slow, painful journey. Not just physically, but mentally too. Yet instead of showing even an ounce of respect, Jon Jones chose to turn the situation into a spectacle. During a live event for his new Dirty Boxing promotion, Jones rode into the arena on a horse wearing an eye patch, openly mocking Aspinall's injury in front of a packed crowd. He laughed, cracked jokes, and brushed off the seriousness of the situation, later telling reporters that he has no interest in ever fighting Tom Aspinall again. What could have been a moment of professionalism became yet another display of mockery. deepening the rift between the two heavyweights and leaving fans stunned at just how far Jones was willing to take it.
To see you compete the White House? Can't wait to see it.
I know. I really hope it happens. Dana, bro, please, bro. Please, I'm training. I feel great. I'm healthy. And I would be so honored to represent our country and do what I do best.
Coming into this fight between the two of them, Ciryl was the underdog and Tom the most popular. With the few things we've seen into this fight, I feel like Ciryl was doing pretty well. Do you feel the same? And do you feel that he's earned respect so that people would care even more when you make this fight again and the odds would be more equivalent?
Yes. Yes, I agree. I think that I said earlier, because of the Jon Jones fight, I think everybody was sleeping on Ciryl Gane and sort of wrote him off. And he's right behind me. He's coming in next, so you guys can ask him how he felt. But I feel like, you know, I'm sure in his camp, he was training like an animal for this fight. And it's unfortunate that it ended the way that it did. And yes, I think that there probably will be a lot more interest in the rematch after they saw, you know, he had Tom bloodied up. And, you know, Tom didn't want to continue in the fight. So the rematch is very interesting.
Tom didn't want to continue in the fight. I mean, could you imagine if you're Tom Aspinall listening to that? Could you imagine? I mean, we know that no one from the UFC was with him at the hospital. We saw that on his video blog. Could you imagine how this guy must be feeling on this Monday? Everyone calling him into question, his heart into question, because he got poked in the eye multiple times. One of them knuckle deep, and his promoter is saying Tom didn't want to continue. Not Tom was fouled with an illegal strike, multiple illegal strikes. Let me ask you a question. If that happened in some alternate universe to AJ, to Anthony Joshua, what do you think Eddie Hearn is saying?
Does Dana White hate Tom Aspinall? Because in the post-match press conference, he was going at his heavyweight champion like he absolutely did not like him.
I mean, he had Tom bloodied up, and Tom didn't want to continue in the fight.
And his key word there is didn't. He didn't say Tom Aspinall couldn't continue, insinuating that he's a quitter.
I don't know if it's because Andy Aspinall's saying Tom wants to go to boxing and he'd love a big payday in boxing, but that's just Andy being a manager and a dad negotiating.
I'm going to be honest, I'll give Dana the benefit of the doubt. He could have easily just misspoke. And the fact that if you do watch the YouTube that Aspinall put out, Dana White's in the locker room before wishing him all luck. I'm sure he's on good terms with Tom Aspinall and his father, because Dana White, let's be honest, if he doesn't have Tom Aspinall, he doesn't have a heavyweight division. If you saw the other heavyweight fights that were on this UFC 321 card, absolutely.
Jones made it clear that the only fight he's interested in now is a so-called super fight with Alex Pereira at the planned White House event next year. But his behavior didn't sit well with the MMA world. Fans and fighters alike called the stunt low, classless, and completely disrespectful. For someone who's long been shielded by the UFC, Jones may have finally crossed a line, publicly humiliating a fighter who's still recovering from a serious injury. According to sources close to Tom Aspinall, he's furious behind the scenes, feeling not only disrespected, but betrayed by how the entire situation has been handled.
But I don't know who I'm mad at. Tom did not do anything wrong. Tom was poked in the eye. As a matter of fact, he was poked in both eyes. Now, I don't believe Ciryl did that on purpose. So, I also can't, or am not mad at Ciryl. But I am mad. I'm looking for somebody to blame. But I don't quite know who to blame. Now, before we get to that, okay, there was a pretty interesting fight going on. The story going into this fight is Tom has the power to just go knock him out. We're not saying Tom's a better kickboxer. We get that Ciryl did that for many years of his life. We get that Ciryl had over 30 professional kickboxing bouts. But Tom is a little younger, a little bigger, shown to have a little bit better power if you just want to look at results, and has the ability to knock him out. However, if Tom tests that and doesn't knock him out, he'll just take him down and beat him up. I mean, this was the belief going in, guys. Tom was a 3.5 to 1 favorite. Tom told everybody that was willing to listen, I shouldn't be a 3.5 to 1 favorite. I don't overly like Ciryl Gane, but I recognize how dangerous Ciryl Gane is as an opponent, particularly with my style. Tom Canton said, he said, look, all the problems that I give, he has the same problems. I move well on my feet for a heavyweight. I'm strong on my feet for a heavyweight. I'm not afraid to step in and trade for a heavyweight. He does all of those same things. There was one noticeable exception, which is Ciryl defensively was better on his feet. Ciryl does have the ability to roll from some of that experience he had. I just bring that to you because that was on display. We had 2 minutes, 33 seconds. But it was on display. I mean, these guys went out and they got to know one another. Tom went for a takedown. He never even attempted another takedown. What does that mean and why? Do we have enough evidence to come to the conclusion that Tom couldn't take him down, or at least that Tom believed he couldn't take him down? It's a guess.
Were you just calling him out as you felt like you wanted to get that shot, or were you calling him out because you were able to continue from the eye poke?
Yeah, it's like that. It's for the hand to be a champion, and the hand quick because the pocket the eye too, and the third too because the hand is the training partner, and I do it with him like a knock him out in the first round. Why is it happening that me and Tom Aspinall fight? Because he say Tom Aspinall, this is the one that does the best training partner. Hank can have it. What happened? Tom Aspinall fighting with Waldo Cortez.
It was a significant eye poke. It wasn't like a little scratch.
Yeah.
It was they went in. They were proper eye pokes, and Tom clearly was in a lot of pain. There's people saying online, well, he was saying multiple times, I can't see. If he wanted to continue, he shouldn't be saying that. The reality is, if he can't see,
Tell the truth.
if you can't see, you're allowed to say you can't see. People might point to me and say, well, you fought with one eye. Yeah, that was a secret because I shouldn't have been fighting. You know, Tom is the champion of the world. He doesn't want to go out there when his vision is impaired or vision is massively affected and potentially lose a fight that was shaping up to be a difficult fight. Ciryl Gane was on point tonight. He was looking good. We saw the damage on Tom's face. This was not an easy fight by any stretch of the imagination. He didn't want to continue with his vision damaged or not being able to see, so I don't blame him. The crowd were upset. I get that. They were frustrated. They've flown in from other countries. They've spent a lot of money. They've bought tickets, and the fight ends like that. I don't think the frustration was on Tom. I think the crowd was just annoyed.
Tom Aspinall hasn't spoken out publicly yet, but those close to him say he's reached his breaking point. After months of uncertainty, lack of support during recovery, and now public mockery, he's reportedly done being the nice guy. Many fans believe Aspinall deserves far better. He's always shown professionalism, fought whoever the UFC put in front of him, and now he's being mocked by the man who avoided fighting him. Meanwhile, Jon Jones pushes for a money fight with Alex Pereira, a move that conveniently keeps him away from Aspinall. Behind the scenes, Tom's camp hints he's rethinking his UFC future. His father has voiced frustration with how fighters are treated, and with ongoing disrespect and pay issues, a move to boxing, where he could earn far more, looks likely. Like Francis Ngannou, Aspinall might soon walk his own path. Because while Jones mocks, Aspinall continues to earn something far more valuable: respect.